Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. This is one video in a series I'm going to make of airdrop guides of the most important farming opportunities ahead of us. So, without ado, we're going to jump right into it, but I hope you guys will always remember nothing here is fully definitive. Airdrops can sometimes they can sometimes be a crapshoot. So, our goal here is to never spend more money than we can afford to lose when farming. This applies not just to Linea, but to every airdrop campaign that we get involved in. But thankfully for us, Linea has also given us more of a path moving forward. So our goal here is to maximize on this, get as much as we can out of this airdrop because they are still very good opportunities if you do the right thing and you know what to look out for. So with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, share this video with people that you know. I'm sure a ton of you have friends in crypto. Let's get the awareness up, not just of my channel, but of this video. And on top of it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also remember, this is not financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Please do your own research and you can vet everything that I've talked about. I will include, or I have already included, links to everything that will be discussed in this video in the description below. So let's get started. Now, if you end up watching this video and you're like, hey, I love this, or I want this for everything, and I want a simplified process to like make sure I'm not spending all my time in crypto, spending time instead with your family, going out to the gym, traveling, whatever you want, actually earning your airdrops, learning what you're doing, getting a ton of opportunities, check out the Web3 Secret Society. Link for that is also in the description below. Now, why should you listen to me? Well, I think I've pretty much proven myself, especially when it comes to strategic guides and videos. Most people, when you look at the ZK Sync airdrop, whether you want to call it a scam or not, most people in our group got a ton of money, and those who actually followed this guide here with the step-by-step process earned a pretty penny, myself included. I got almost a full allocation, 99.7 thousand ZK, without much of an investment. So with that being said, let's jump into Linea. The first thing I want you to do is I want you, if you haven't done so already, go and make sure you complete their proof of humanity. What this does is it is the one factor that will allow them to drop their two different types of point systems into your wallet. Without it, they won't do it. So check this link, make sure there's a green status that you've completed the proof of humanity, and then you can move on. If not, you have to complete at least one attestation from Group A. As you guys know, I really vouch for Gitcoin Passport. And then 2 attestations from Group B. I chose Clique and I chose Trusta. I don't know if Trusta is still allowed, so you'll have to look at some of the other options out here. I think Nomis is actually not bad. If you have any sort of chain use, you should have a massive score. My score on Nomis is like 82 or 83. Now, once you've done that, our next step is to go into what was called the Linea Voyage XP program, or LXP. So the LXP program was the first half of the Linea program. It followed their testnet campaign where you earned some NFTs, and then they did the sort of Linea Voyage campaign as well. If you're curious about the LXP, I've included the FAQ. So I'm just going to just quit my Discord so it doesn't stop making that noise. But you can check this out here. You can actually add the LXP token to your MetaMask by importing the token symbol if you'd like to. And just so you know, these are tokens that are unable to be transferred. The ultimate goal here by the Linea program was to create a system where people couldn't just have multiple wallets and then funnel all the LXP or other tokens that they earned into one wallet and get a massive airdrop. So the idea here is this is the LXP program. It's step 1, right? Step 0 was really the testnet. Now, if you were here with us back in November and December, I made some videos around the DeFi voyage for Linea. They did it week by week. And if you did this, you earned some LXP. So there was like, I think, 6 weeks, tons of waves. Once that was completed, you guys remember we did the Linea Park every week. We had updates as the park expanded. Some of these tasks were not worthwhile because they required downloading. I know some of you brave souls did that, but so be it. And then there were some other campaigns around Linea as well. So for example, you could find a campaign, I think Fox AI did one where you got like 50 or 100 for minting NFTs. So there was tons of ways to earn LXP. Now, another way that people may not know about is their testnet NFTs. So this is the Linea Voyage NFT collection. To date, so the way this is going to work basically is for every NFT that you own, they get basically an allocation of LXP airdropped. And to date, so on June 23rd, when I'm making this video, they have not dropped the LXP for this yet. The snapshot has not been taken. If you ask in their Discord, which I recommend that you're part of their Discord for Linea, they will tell you, just check the announcements, wait for an update. Nothing has happened yet. So if you want to bump up your LXP, you can go to the official verified collection on Element and purchase some. I have a couple of these just to sort of bolster my LXP as well. Up to you if you want to get it or not. For some of you who said, hey, I missed Linea Park, I missed sort of the DeFi Voyage, and you want to get LXP, this is a way that you can do that if you want to. Now, if you're wondering how much LXP that you have, well, there's a website called Linea Scan Build. Of course, link in the description. What you do is you type in your address right here, your wallet address. Once you do that, it will pop up and it will show you your balance for your LXP, right? So this is sort of what I've been doing, but if I was to just do it from scratch to show you guys, I'm just gonna do the step-by-step process. We'll put it in. We'll hit the search button. You click on this, and you can scroll down, and you can see how much Linea XP you get in this drop down. You could also go to, I believe it's token transfers, and it will show you what LXP that when you get dropped it to. So I've got to go down a bit more because I've done some transactions. You see, I got 150 LXP 3 days ago. I hope that sort of makes some sense. So with that, we finished the LXP campaign. So most of us were surprised when Linea came out and said, hey, we need you to bring some TVL. You know, the tasks are fine, great. We want money on chain. And to do that, they introduced a program called the Linea Voyage Surge. And you see the volt, it matters because they have their own terminology for a time period for how long this will run. In this case, 6 volts or 3 billion TVL. Basically, the idea here, strategically, is they wanted people to bridge liquidity onto the network, and that would allow them to basically get a higher valuation on the token when it goes up. LXP was basically task-based. LXPL is liquidity. So 6 volts bracket 6 months or reach 3 billion in TVL starting in April, which means that was Q2. So you expect it to be done Q4 or October or 3 billion in TVL. Obviously, the community didn't like it. I was not a fan. But you know what? It feels like every protocol has somewhat let us down. So we're going to roll the punches, so be it. Now that we got some funds freed up, we can put some money on here. Sorry. Basically, what you can do is go to the Linea Surge website. They have a dashboard, a referral portal, etc. Basically, what they want you to do is collect LXPL. They got the 6 volts. I'm going to show you the heat map in a second. But the first thing you want to do is exactly how much TVL is on chain. So you go to DeFi Llama. You check Linea. Like I said, links to everything is in the description. It's jumped up. So in April, it was about 122 million. Mid-May, 245. And now that we're in June, we're sitting almost at 700 million. Remember, 3 billion is the goal. So likely, I think October will be how long this campaign runs for. So you do have some time. To join the surge, you do need a referral code. If you don't mind, I've included my referral code in the description below. If you want to sign up, if you haven't already, it would support me and the channel. So, you don't have to do that. If you know somebody who's got a code, I'm not going to be upset if you use theirs. But if you don't have a code and you want to support, I have my code here, link in the description as well. Then what I would recommend that you do is you go to the heat map, because the number one thing is, let's make sure that we're being smart about all of this, right? You have to be smart about this. You go to the heat map. That heat map basically opens up this page, which shows you like how many people are participating on the Linea service. So you see it's like gradually going up. It dumped from 650 down and it's come back. Total points distributed, average points per user. So this is only for LXPL. And what they did on each side is, the left side is all the protocols on Linea that are rewarded. The eligible assets are on the right side. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you can see what they value highly. So DEX and lending and bridging are considered top 3, but for certain tokens. So if you're looking at these 6 squares, so if you got DEX or lending for a major, an LRT, or a stable coin, you're good regardless. It's the highest ranking. So a major would be like Bitcoin or ETH. An LRT would be, ETHFI's ETH, right? Or like Mitosis MIW ETH, right? You guys know what a DEX is, which is like sync swap. A lending protocol could be like Zero Lend, for example, right? And bridging is like Stargate. But for example, you would not want to put an LRT token into Stargate. It just wouldn't be worth it. Now, if you're not sure where the protocols exist, scroll to the top, and literally it's by alphabetical order. So if we go to Stargate is a bridge. Got added on May 16th. I'm going to show you something else in a second. The same thing goes over here, though. You can see every single token. Major, ETH, right? Stable. Let's look for like USDE. That's a real world asset, right? We got Renzo, restaked ETH, LRT. We got Connext USDC, stable, right? So you can literally look at all of these to understand what is supported on here. And that gives you a better idea when you're sort of going forward, okay? So use this strategically. I have my own recommendations for what to use. Not saying you have to use it. I'm going to walk you through why I chose what I'm doing and why. But it all starts with Jumper. Now, the reason I say this is we are farming Jumper Exchange. It's basically a rerouter or a router tool, right? And we know, based on the math, this is obviously an estimation, but if you look at the math, if you want to gain XP and get your level up to sort of qualify for certain airdrops, and especially for Jumper, you want to make sure that you utilize this whenever possible. Not saying you have to do stupid, bogus transactions, but the goal here is, if you're going to bridge anyways, you might as well use Jumper, and it will tell you what the cheapest bridging option is out of the aggregators that it uses, or the aggregate processes that it has available. And by doing that, you can also bridge your volume, etc. So I like using Jumper, and I move my funds from Arbitrum to ETH. You could do it many other ways. If you want to use Orbiter, if you want to use the native bridge, feel free to do whatever is sort of best for you, okay? But my recommendation, what I like doing, is sort of using Jumper when possible. Obviously, if the cost is too high, compare the cost and you shop around for what the best deal is. For LXPL, priority-wise, you got until June 26th for the next couple of LXPL. I mentioned this on a video. I might have said this incorrectly. It's LXP. It's like, I know it's LXPL. It's just, what's it called? Sometimes when you're talking about these things, you kind of use these terms interchangeably by accident, right? LXP and LXPL. So if you haven't done these already, make sure you do these 3. They require a bit of liquidity depositing, and in the others, you can basically take them out. The only one I think that you have to leave liquidity on for a bit is Nile, where you have to lock like 25 Nile tokens. I forget what it was, but everything else I believe you can take out. I haven't taken them out yet because I'm just using them to support the my Linea Surge farming operation. So remember, make sure you sort of get in there before June 26th if you want to earn these points. The other thing here is I like using a combination of ETHFI and Mitosis. So if we go back to our dashboard, right? I mentioned this like maybe 4 or 5 days ago, but I would use Mitosis on Linea. It got added actually on the 20th, which I think was either the same day or the day after that I made my video. And then you could sort of scroll down here and look for MIW ETH. So right here. So we got LRT, Mitosis, and we've got like a thing right here. So where is this? Yeah. So basically, you should be somewhat golden here. Okay. So that is sort of where I'm looking because I think it's I think it's massive. Now, what I do is I go on to Etherfi. I go to the link app.etherfi/ETH. I make sure I'm on the Linea network. I then get access to how much ETH I have in my wallet. If I wanted to stake like 0.2, then it would give me the equivalent dollar figure, so 0.192 in WETH. Same in value, monetary wise, it's just WETH has a bit of yield included in it. And then what happens is once I have it there, I go into Mitosis, I go into deposit redeem, and then I'm able to select it when I'm on the Linea side, because if I swapped it, it would be here. I would then type 0.196 or if it was there, and it would let me do that and put it in here. Now, I think Mitosis is a fantastic way to get a ton of exposure. I've been talking about this for a long time. If you haven't signed up already, I think it's very worthwhile to do so. Make sure you go in and claim whatever badges you can as well. If you need a link, I've included the link to my Mitosis, like my referral link for Mitosis as well in the description. But I think doing this and putting your ETH on Linea will also support you in the surge. Other thing I'm doing is I'm using Zero Lend. So Zero Lend, I have 2.8 ETH lent out in the Linea market. Make sure when you're doing this, you always check the links. You have wallet guards. You never click somebody else's link and you get screwed or something. I earn LXPL points from this. I'm also earning some yield, gravity, whatever. And then on top of it, I'm borrowing in a safe manner, like 2,050. So I was able to borrow like 7K off my 10 Gs. I didn't need that much. All I wanted was to put 0.5 ETH equivalent or something into a liquidity pool. So if we go back, and by the way, let's just pressure test this. So this is Zero Lend, okay? So we go back to our dashboard. And our dashboard, Zero Lend, shows up here as a lending protocol. And I'm looking at ETH. So ETH is a major. So there we go. We got a major and we got a major and we got a lending protocol. So we're right here. So we're good, okay? So then, now that I borrowed like 2,050 bucks, I used 350 for something else before. That was for Athena. But then I went to SyncSwap. So I like SyncSwap because they don't have a token yet. They're a very reliable network or reliable protocol to swap. They're on so many networks, right? I think we've used them for like ZK Sync, right? They're for Scroll as well. And I went to this pool, USDC and ETH, and I just basically put in, the equivalent, like half an ETH and the equivalent USDC into this. It's going to earn me some yield, but it's also, once again, going to earn me LXPL. So let's go back to this handy tool. Let's look at SyncSwap. It's a DEX, and ETH is a major, and USDC is a stable. So once again, checks the boxes. So we're golden. Now, I like this because, just gets you more exposure. And we saw with ZK Sync that they did value liquidity pools twice as much. They're not making a distinguishing thing here. Definitely worthwhile to check out. Once again, we want to just make sure we're on top of these things. But guys, it's pretty simple. Now, the reason why I'm using Zero Lend is it's because it's safe. It's been out for quite a bit of time. They got a ton of TVL. They've just launched their season 1 airdrop. A lot of us have season 2 vesting. So it's worthwhile using them, trusting them. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I only want tokenless protocols. Well, you add a ton of significant risk. SyncSwap doesn't have that risk, or maybe it's very tiny because they've been around for so long. Okay. And the last thing I'll say here is, if you haven't done so already, make sure you go on, and if you have the bank, go in there and make sure you follow me. Like, just follow my wallet. You'll get to see everything that I do. So if I go on, let's go Linea, you'll see, for example, any sort of transactions that I make over here, and you'll be able to keep track without me making a video. Okay. Also, it'll help me to get my follower count up. And once I get a TVF over 1 million, I get another badge. That will help with the Rabby wallet or the other campaign. So this is what I think you guys should do. Now, I know you may have a lot of questions. Thankfully, we have an AMA coming up. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to jump onto that one. And if you have any questions, let's chat there. Thanks for watching. And remember, if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.